Hello, and thank you so much for watching and taking the time to watch this. I pray that it helps you, and whether it's a little bit of it, all of it, or in some shape or way or form. I would like to also state that I don't think drinking is wrong. I don't think it's bad. I think there are limits, and I think there are precautions, and etc., 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 that should be done, and your heart should be right with it. But nonetheless, I'm not saying to stop. I'm not saying any of that. To each their own, and that means that it's between you and God and somebody who's covering over you. And that's all between like that, and that's not between me. I'm not saying to do any of which way, but if this helps you and you resonate with it, and it's something that is like speaking to you, then I guess do with that what you will. I just pray that it helps you. And so yes, I'll go ahead and get started. I'm just gonna read from it and go on. If I don't look up, I'm sorry, I'm just reading from it. So thank you so much, and yes. When I was 12, the thought of drinking wouldn't leave my mind. It's all I wanted to do. I was living with my birth mom, and it was really horrible living there. When I was 14, I started drinking. I was living with her sister at the time because that's where she sent me. And that too was horrible to live there. But let's skip, and now I'm 15 and I'm living back with her because she got jealous that people when I was younger took me in. From when I was younger, that took me in. They had found me because my mom made me stop talking to them, and she got jealous of that. So I started living back with her at 15. And then when I was 16, she sent me away again, but only this time in the same state to a family guy. And so then I was 16. Then I started living in the foster care because it got contacted. Okay, so now with that, so I'm in the foster system and ended up living in a therapy home for girls. I'm not going to go into anything, but I was there for 2 years and then went to another one for transitioning adults. Yeah, I actually really enjoyed living there, both places. It really was helpful, and I really was able to get back my childhood that I was getting taken away from. And so yes, I have nothing against living there. I'm just skipping the details of being there. I was in the system for about 3 years. I aged out in the foster care, but I'm skipping details again. And through that time of me being there, I didn't drink. However, my mind in drinking never left. The thought of drinking was always there. Yeah, I think that's actually really important to mention, because just because you're not drinking, it doesn't mean that the thought and all of it was tormenting you. When I was 14, I did start, but, like, sorry for the clashing. Yeah, notification popped up. I'm trying to go fast. Because I don't know when the phone will cut off, because last night I kept trying this and the phone kept cutting off, so it's hard to get a thought like flowing, I guess. That's why I write it all down too. Where was I at? Yeah, I was sober for the 3 years of being there, but with all of everything going on, I just kept drinking. No, like I kept the thought of drinking in my head. I kept wanting it and wanting it, and it never left. The thought it was always there. So just because like somebody's sober, it doesn't help if the thought's always there and it's like not, and the thought's not helped. Okay, so, but the time I'm aging out, and I choose to live with my aunt again, who I was living with at first since I was 12. Yeah, I was living with my mom at 12, but before 12, for the first 12 years of my life, that is who I was living with, was my aunt, and that was the one that found me, but I had to go back with my mom because she had got jealous when they had found me. Okay, so, and she adopted me, And now my caseworker was there helping me transition, so let's also skip some details. This is just me moving states. Now I'm living there, and the first time I'm alone, I start drinking because I was so alone in my mind that finally the thought took over. Like 2 days of me being there, 2 days right after, I just started drinking because finally I was able to. Like when you're in a group home and etc., it's not accessible as if in your mom's cabinet or at your house, etc. It's just there is no alcohol at a group home, and that's where I was the past like 3 years until I was aging out into 18, and then my mom, my aunt, really, I'm gonna call my aunt my mom throughout this because she adopted me, so I did. I just 2 days as soon as she left, I did. So I was there for about 2 years when I wanted to leave because I started going to the school where they literally an entire school and some teachers were not nice at all. I started going there to the school, and the only reason why I left from my mom is because an entire school was just bullying me and I couldn't get anything done. I didn't want to do any of that. So I went back to Montana, and 5 people from the entire school that didn't bully me. Yeah, I say that because I don't want, if at all, some people from that school ever watch this, I don't know if they will, but I just want to also say there are some people who didn't, but it wasn't enough for me to not want to stay, not want to leave, I guess. And so I decided that I wanted to move back to Montana. I'm 18, moving back to Montana. I'm not going to go into the time-lapse situations. I'm just going to list what was going on. Okay, yeah, I just realized that I said I was 18 when I was aging out. I was 17, about to be 18, and I was there for 2 years or a year and a half. And then I was 18, because my aunt said you can't leave until you're at least 18. You have to be here until you're 18. So yes, I'm going to skip a bunch of stuff, all leading up to when I met Colin. But the only stuff I'm adding are the timestamps of what led to me drinking more. Watching TV shows that messed up my mind. Started night drinking with people, started day drinking, became homeless and moved to Mississippi with family, was drinking even more from drink stashes, started working and drinking. At this point, drinking was all I was doing, avoiding to go back to the house, working 3 jobs. So yeah, I started working 3 jobs because I didn't want to drink anymore, but I didn't know how to stop. So even though I was working drinking, at least there was a point where I would stop and it would wear off. So I started doing 3 jobs because I didn't want to do that anymore, but I didn't know how to stop. Then I met Colin. Okay, so there's that. So I'm 19 / going into 20 at this point, 19 or 20, I mean, at this point. And when Colin and I met, all I wanted to do was go out to bars and drink, or to just go out and drink. I was also trying to just go anywhere that I could to drink. As for Colin, he was trying to show me I can do things without drinking, and I did okay, but after a couple days or so, I feel like I needed to again, and my mind, soul, body just felt attacked if I didn't. So I was really trying not to. I really didn't want to at all. It was just the only thing I could do, but whenever I stopped and whenever I felt okay enough to stop and whenever I felt like I was doing, I could actually focus on something else and learn something else, I just felt attacked literally all over. And so then I couldn't do it anymore. But it felt like I needed to drink even more for the noise and attacks to ease. But as time went on and I wanted to stop drinking but couldn't, so I tried AA. yeah, I never knew like AA existed. Like I've seen it in TV shows or something, but like I didn't grasp what it was, and also I just forgot it ever existed until finally. I don't know what happened actually. How I think I don't know how I remembered it. I can't remember, but my voice is late. Sorry. Oh, yeah, I started going to AA. It was like an every Tuesday, or it was like a consistent time, like 3 days or 2 days out of the week. I'd try to go at least once a week, every day. I mean every week. Sorry, my foot's really asleep. Okay, but I would drink right after. I'd try replacing the addiction for something else, but only to get addicted to that food temporarily. During the time, I was also trying to stop doing pills. Yeah, I was also on pills, but not as like bad. I would just find whatever, and then I knew like mincing them would get me killed, but I also knew that there would a chance it wouldn't, but at least like the mixture of whatever I found would do something. I knew that much, but I wasn't on like any person thing. One day, Colin took us under a bridge, told me to grab the pills, and said it was my choice, and we prayed, and we prayed. Yeah, that was the time when we got back from New Hampshire. Said Hampshire. That was the time we got back from New Hampshire, and we were riding around, and I was being not nice at all. I was being very mean. Skipping details of when I was mean. My foot's waking up. I'm sorry. So finally, he was very not happy, but he drove under a bridge, like a little dirt place bridge, and he said, "Get out and take the pills with you." And we prayed, and I was going to want to dump them out. And as I did, I didn't have an attachment to pills as I did drinking. Yeah, I was very easy to just not want them anymore, even though it was like still there, but like not as bad. And I was there for a good hour, 20 minutes trying to get it out, like drop the pills, but like still it wasn't as hard. Like I wanted to, I didn't care to. It was just like the attachment was like gripping, like the attack was gripping, that I couldn't just not care. I prayed inside my head to please help me. I don't want them. Then for some time I felt the attachment and control go away, that I was able to let them go. From that time on, I wanted to go to church more, and Colin was still trying to get me to stop drinking, and a year later of constantly back and forth stopping and drinking, Colin got baptized. And I was drinking pretty good, and I was doing pretty good on not drinking. But then we had an argument, and I drank. I should also mention that during all of this, I never wanted to drink. I just couldn't stop due to. I'm just gonna mention like reasons why I couldn't just stop. Attacks from my mind, soul, body gave me a high away from reality. It calmed the attacks. I wanted to forget my past mistakes and feel like I'm not that person as my past. I didn't want to feel left out. I thought because I was doing better, I could handle myself. I was being reminded of who I wasn't. Drinking eased all of that. That was a lot to say at once. I'm just gonna take a sip of coffee because my throat's dry. Water hydration. Oh, really? To go back to some of it, yeah, we all do things in our past that we're not happy of. And there are things that I did that I wanted to forget, but I just felt like that's who I always am, and that's who I always will be. And I didn't like it, And so then that's also why I did and why I couldn't, because I was just constantly being reminded every single time, like, I felt like I wasn't, every single time I felt like that's not who I was. It would be good for 2 days, a week, a month, and then out of nowhere, I would just start feeling it again, and then I wouldn't go away for even longer unless I did drink. So then it was just a constant year battle. And or if I was doing okay, I thought because, well, I don't think that way anymore. I don't feel that way anymore. I know I'm not who I was in my past. Because I thought I was doing okay from all of that, I thought it was still okay to drink. But then when I did drink, there would still be a shift of like, there would be a shift and change in the atmosphere as far as me goes that made it not okay anymore. Like, I was still okay, but as far as like my spirit goes, it would be a shifted spirit that wasn't okay, or I couldn't get myself to stop. But then there were times that I did think I was okay, and that I did get myself to stop. It still was a shift in spirit that wasn't, that's the one that wasn't okay. But anyways, that's probably a lot for somebody who doesn't like quite understand, which I'm sorry, but I just wanted to put that out there of like what that meant by like, just because you don't do that anymore, you can still do it because you're better. But in reality, just because you're better about all the thoughts and you're better about all of what's going on, it doesn't mean that a seed that's inside of you, you're growing something actually that's not actually good for you, like good for connection or so. I don't know how to explain it for somebody really. I'm sorry. I'll stop before I continue on about whatever. Going back to when Colin and I had the argument, I drank to spite him. Yeah, actually, I was doing really good about not wanting it and everything, but then we got into an argument, and then I was like, and I just drank to spite him. I didn't want it. I didn't care for it. I just wanted to make him mad. Yeah, because he said something about drinking, and so I was like, okay, fine, whatever. Or maybe he didn't. I don't want to say that, because, like, I don't remember, so I shouldn't be saying that, but, so I'm sorry. I tried everything, so, we went, okay, so the next day we went to a Bible study. I believe and I felt like I tried everything else, but I still felt hooked. So I felt led to want to be baptized. So after I was baptized, I stopped drinking completely. It wasn't easy. I still had urges. All of the reasons why I couldn't stop was still there and active. I still felt attacked. Drinking still had control of me, but I stopped completely because it felt like there was my there was my spirit fighting for me and giving me the help I needed to be able to resist. That every time I came close, there was a deeper calling of no drinking, of no, don't. And after a year, I realized if it was Jesus' spirit fighting for me and helping me, because I gave up the pills for him. He helped me to give up drinking, even when it still feels like it. Sometimes I'm able to listen to him. Able to listen to him tell me no. Okay, yeah. By sometimes I mean like sometimes I mean like it's me that I can be able to do it, and then other times when it's like really hard, that's when Jesus is like, hey, no, remember? So yeah, the reason why I even mentioned the pills is because that time that I gave up the pills and then I was able to be baptized, Jesus when I realized what Jesus' voice was for me, it later on became that you gave up the pills for me, so now I'm going to help you give up drinking for you and me. And that was like the last sip, was the spiteful sip was the last sip. And I remember that because it was after my birthday, and it was literally the day before Bible study and the day before like I got baptized. And then ever since then, oh my gosh, now it's the other foot. Sorry, everybody. Or sorry, just me. I'm just kidding. I pray this, like, this is his will to do all of this. I'm also like studying so much just because I feel like I'm saying drinking too much, and so I'm sorry. But yeah, that's what happened, is that like all of the attacks, everything I mentioned before, it was still constantly there. It still didn't go away. It was still very hard. But as far as like what I needed, I needed that help inside myself to be able to, that I didn't have. I didn't have the control. I didn't have that help. I didn't have that fighting spirit that's there. I didn't have that. And so through AA, I couldn't stop. I tried medicine, I couldn't stop. I tried therapy, I couldn't stop. I tried hobbies, it didn't help. I tried replacing it with coffee, I tried replacing it with gum, I tried replacing it, and I even tried going to church, or I tried just doing okay, and none of that helped. It was that spirit of Jesus that I needed in me to be able to help me. And that even though sometimes it's like, I'm doing pretty good, I could, but then I know that I should not, because there would be that seed of destruction, I guess, that I could say there, that wouldn't be good for me at all. And so that's why I stopped. That's why I don't do it anymore. It's not because I don't want to. I would love to just be able to go drink with my sisters, or to go drink out at a Mexican place, because I'm much better from it. It's not who I am anymore. And to just have that quality time with them without any negative attachments there. Yeah, that would be nice. Or to be in fellowship with other believers who do it, and there'd be no attachment there. But that's not the reality for me. The reality for me is that inside I would be planting a negative attachment, that I can't do that. And so I just gave it up, and I still do. Now there's like times, like in a blue moon, where it really, really gets to me that I'm close to it again. But then those are times where Jesus leaves me alone, and he's like, you can make the choice to do it or don't. I'm telling you no, and from there, that's up to you. And so there's that choice. It's like, but those are times where it's like really, really hard inside of my head that I'm struggling a lot, but I don't do it because it's like, I already went so much. Why should I like just tear that down? And so I don't. Thank you so much for watching. I pray that it helps you. And that's the honest reason why I don't drink anymore, is because I want to be able to have that last sip, that official last sip, because in the Bible it talks about how there's a banquet, and I don't know whether there'd be wine or not, and like maybe the wine's grape juice, but it doesn't matter to me, because I I just want to be able to have that with the Lord, and to have that last sip with the Lord in purity, without any negative attachments, without watering a seed. It's like a little chia seed, you know? You don't see it, or mustard seed, I guess, the smallest little seed there is, but when you grow it, there's a bunch. And so that's what drinking is for me, is that just because I'm fine from it, it's a mustard seed, and if I do it, then I know that I'm growing something negative inside of me, that I just don't do it. And so I just stay away from it, and I'm not telling anybody that that's who they need to be like me. I'm saying that nothing helped. Absolutely no therapy, no meds, no friends, as far as like the friends I had across states. No AA, no sponsorship, no every single night I'm staying up. None of that helped. Not even church. Like, church is what led me to be baptized, and the love from the people there. But, and God's Spirit, duh, obviously. But I mean, like, none of that helped. It was me giving myself back to God, and God telling me, because you did this, I will help you. It wasn't easy, and sometimes it's still not easy, but I'm not doing it. So, thank you so much, and I could just ramble on about like the conclusion of it, but I feel like I said a lot, and I'm trying to just catch my breath now from talking consistently without rambling. So, thank you, Lord, so much for all that you do, and thank you for giving it back to me, and thank you for helping me stop. And I'm sorry that there are times where I feel like I should, or feel like I want to, and I just completely forget about all the things that you helped me do and helped me through. And I'd rather just get rid of it, and I'm sorry about that. I pray that if there's somebody going through something, that you help them, and that if this helps them, then maybe it does. But nonetheless, whether that is the case or not, I just pray that this is your will, and thank you. And in Jesus' name, amen. Anyways, guys, thank you, and bye.